Cincinnati had the ball for only 25 minutes of clock time, total possession time, as the Patriots matriculated the ball down the field with long, methodical possessions. The better story is in the losing locker room, and so that is where we go. Let us discuss the question. Just a bad game for the Bengals, Joe Burrow, or is there room for concern? Is there room for concern? So I've got Listerine, Preemie, and As Seen on TV. And we will combine all of these things together, and we will pinch our fingers. Because for the Patriots, they had a pinch of good luck. So first of all, if you saw Benny versus the Penny, God bless you. Means a lot, the TV show. It's also still streaming, by the way, on Peacock if you want to check that out. But we picked the Patriots on the TV show. Now, did I think the Patriots were going to win the game outright? No, I didn't think they were going to win the game outright. Are you crazy? I'm not crazy. I thought they'd hang around. I thought they'd play ugly football and be in the game and that the Bengals would pull it out. And it turned out that they did play ugly football. They were in the game, and the Bengals didn't turn it on at the end of the game and win the game. And so the spread just stood out. It was too lopsided. We looked at that. We said, well, the Patriots are bad. There's an old saying in sports, you don't want to play bad teams early in the year because they don't realize they're bad. They don't realize the degree of suck the Patriots have. And sure enough, they sucked. But they didn't suck as much as the pundits. You read some of the stories coming out of Boston, the Boston media, that cover the Patriots. This was like a high school football team. Man alive. But there's no excuse for Cincinnati to actually lose the game. It's one thing to not cover the spread, but to not be able to pull the game out late in the game. Another blemish on the resume of Joe Burrow, and I'm a Burrow guy, but he has been a notoriously slow starter in his career. 5 week 1 performances, Burrow 1-4 straight up for the Bengals there, and there's such a talent disparity, even with the players that were out and complaining about their contract. There's such a talent disparity between Cincinnati and New England that this has to sting more than some of these other losses the Bengals have had early in the year. To have just 10 points and 224 yards of offense? What are you doing? What are you practicing? Are you watching cartoons and drinking chocolate milk and eating cupcakes and what were you doing? Now, are the Gerard Mayo coached Patriots better than the pundits anticipated? Well, right off the bat, you say they won this game, so clearly they're better. This game was a Listerine special. They got rid of the halitosis. Now, that being said, that bad breath, I am not ready to announce that the Patriots are legit. I'm not ready to say that at all because they won this game playing an archaic style of football. I understand why they have it's the way they have to play. I understand why they did it. And Gerard Mayo, you got to play this way because you don't have a quarterback. Jacoby Brissett sucked at a time you cannot suck, and they still won the game. He was lousy. Finished with 121 yards passing. At least he didn't get sacked that much, but this was 1980s, early 80s style football. Ground and pound and have the defense win the game. Ramondre Stevenson carried the ball 25 times. Now, he didn't go 35 or 40, but 25 carries for 120 yards on the ground. It is a formula that both worked and is not sustainable over the course of the NFL regular season. It's not. It's a nice moment, and it's a great vibe for the Patriots to win this game. But going forward, by the time the season gets to the midway point, they will be who we thought they were going to be. An absolute dumpster fire of a team. But for right now, that's fine. And they've got another winnable game playing the Seattle Seahawks, who aren't particularly great either. You saw what they did. They almost blew it against a quarterback that couldn't play in that game. Bo Nix, who was terrible, and yet Seattle had 2 safeties in that game. They gave Denver a couple of safeties and played a sloppy game, and Denver just wasn't able to take advantage. That game is in Foxborough. That's the home opener for the Patriots in week number 2. Now, turning the page, and we now pivot we stay in the AFC East. We go to Buffalo. Here we go, Buffalo. After falling behind 17-3, the Bills stormed back. The Bills Mafia outscoring the Cardinals 28-3 in a stretch of time, and then holding on for a 6-point win. So if you bet on the game, depending on the point spread you got to push. I got to push. So what is your early impression? Your early impression of Josh Allen's Bills without Stefon Diggs? Stefon Diggs not walking back through that door, and if he does, he'll be wearing a Texans uniform. So Josh Allen got the stats. That's really all you care about. Averaged over 10 yards per pass and had 2 touchdowns on the ground, 2 touchdowns through the air. But to make any coronation based on this performance, that is a preemie situation. And the reason it's a preemie situation, it's way too early. Nothing tangible can be determined. Because for every positive thought that you have about Josh Allen in this game, you have to fall back to saying, well, yeah, but they were playing the Cardinals. Yeah, but Kyler Murray, the little fella, was on the other side, right? That's a second-rate outfit. That's an embarrassing franchise, the Cardinals. And so the Bills, I look out there and say, well, they didn't have Stefon Diggs, and fine, Josh Allen got 4 touchdowns. That's great. But the Bills had a bunch of Jags out there. Not Jacksonville Jags, just a guy. Just a guy here, just a guy there, just a guy everywhere at wide receiver. Now, Keon Coleman was the top pass catcher in week number 1, but nothing to post about on Instagram, nothing to brag about there. Khalil Shakur failed to leave a footprint. He's projected to be the next big thing there for the Buffalo Bills. Of bigger concern, though, and this is a key turning point situation early in the NFL season, Josh Allen, he landed on his hand and he injured his non-throwing hand. Now, he did finish the game, so it's not like he didn't play the entire game, but his left hand, his wrist were wrapped. He did not leave the game early again. However, Allen, despite saying he's fine, he will undergo X-rays this coming week. The Bills have a short week. They have a quick turnaround. They play the second game of the season against the Dolphins in South Florida. Hopefully Tyreek will not be in handcuffs on his way to that game. That's the Thursday night game this coming week. Buffalo, Al Michaels will be there. Herbie will be calling that Bills game. And if the Buffalo Bills are unable to have Josh Allen start, do you know who the backup quarterback is for your Buffalo Bills? Are you aware? Have you memorized the Buffalo Bills depth chart? You have not. Interesting. All right. The backup option is Mitch Trubisky. He is back. He is back in Buffalo. All right, final thought. We head to the ATL. That is where Chris Boswell, a one-man band there, our idiot kicker, booted not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. How about 6 field goals, 3 of them longer than 50 yards? He was all of the offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers as he scored all the points. Justin Fields got the last-second start, and the Steelers get a grinded-out win, very similar to how they played in recent years. Nothing's changed. They still don't have a quarterback in Pittsburgh. Fields stinks, and he played like a stiff, the same stiff he was in Chicago. And so if you thought he was going to be different, no, he sucks. He still sucks. He's just wearing nicer laundry. 18-10, though, Steelers get the win. So how are things looking for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers and their quarterback position? So Tomlin said, hey, check back on Tuesday. He doesn't even know who's going to play quarterback. He has no idea. Maybe he'll spin the bottle and decide that way. Why not? But the reaction I have for the Steelers and their quarterback room is as seen on TV. As seen on TV. Wonderful defense. This Steeler team can win. They have a championship-level defense. The offense is sour cream and onion dip. And while I like sour cream and onion dip, it's not something you want that's going to hold you over, right? Headless horseman at quarterback. Justin Fields, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. And neither is Russell Wilson. Russ was projected to start and then unable to make it because of a calf injury. So Mike Tomlin's going to have to be Houdini. Yet again, the margins are very thin for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have the Broncos in the next game. So that is a winnable game even without a quarterback because the Broncos don't have a quarterback either. So you should get off to the 2-0 start. But at some point, you're going to have a quarterback, and that's where the rubber meets the road at that particular point.